Hi, Happy Hoarder here, and I am participating in the Heidi Sonboul Winter Challenge. Thank you, Heidi, for organizing this challenge and inviting us all to join in.
I recognize him as a Carol Bouquet design, but someone has taken off his original face and glued this other face on, and I ain't gonna rip that face off. I know, I'm ripping it off. It's horrible, but it's a horrible face. So sad. I'm sorry. I'm taking your head off, man. Yeah, it's coming unglued anyway. Partially. It's just like a face cover. It's not even the face. This guy's kind of creepy. He'd make a better clown. So I've got some head choices I could use. In fact, I did one. I don't care. I love this one face that I did. So it's just one of these capped heads, and I can pull that glue off. And I could repaint it if I wanted to. So what I may do with this guy is replace his now nothing head. He has no head. Get your hat on. Oh my gosh, your head is glued on good. I just pulled some stuffing out, so his facelessness, he actually looks better now, if you ask me. Yeah, that plastic face just wasn't cutting it. He's made really well, except for that string. He's very neutral, and I have a few really neutral things that I think would be kind of cool to put together a very, neutral table. And keep like toys with him that are very, muted and stuff like this. But he has a well-made coat. They make their clothes there's two different kinds. There is a less expensive version, but these are like the back in the day $300 versions. I mean, they were maybe he was probably a couple $100. 300s usually have a little bit more going on. So these were made in the 80s. Actually, I think they started in the 80s and maybe quit making them in the 90s. This one is well cared for. It's not real fur, that kind of bugs, but this is. So if you're kind of a person who wants an animal friendly when you don't want one of these Santas, if you know what I mean. So he's just kind of cool though. I mean, like I said, he's made what it just seems like he would be missing a toy right here because it's so blank. But there's no glue. So that was one that I had picked up that I wanted to put a new face on, which is something I've been working on. And hang on. I told my husband it'd be better for me to have a GoPro than a camera set up because I'm all over the place. That's just how I work. So right now I'm letting my babies dry outside, and while he's finishing up some drying, his ears drying, and I say the weirdest stuff, but I had this one little piece of this kind of yarny stuff that came. I think this is a. It comes in with like a button or something like that, when you get a sweater, and it came with that. So this little piece, I think it's called Chanel. I think that's Chanel right there. Anyway, here's one little strand of it that came from one of those little bags that come with the sweater. I know, I'm crazy. I'm a hoarder. What can I say? In a better position when you see him. So he's out here like letting some things dry, and I made him a little bridle out of that. I just wanted to keep it neutral. This guy is so covered with glitter. He's a nightmare. I'm going to change out this tie, and I pulled some of these to see which ones, some floss to see which matches, and then this one's going to need something too. Did I glue down while I was at it? I was kind of torn between what to do on these. I ended up just putting, I don't really like this look at all. I know I gotta go back and put some more glitter on these. I know, it's killing me. So much work. But anyway, little things I'm trying to work out. One thing I need to say, when I was painting his face, there's so much I need to talk about, and with it not having the good background, the footage as I was doing it, and why it took me so long to paint him, is because I painted him using, in a very painterly fashion. And when I did it, I say painterly, that means I just started putting paint all over, just like I was painting a portrait or something. I wasn't using just basic color. I was like mixing colors and getting shading and things like that. A lot of different techniques to get this done. But I had used black and brown in my shading. Now, typically in a shadow, you do want to do the cooler tones, and black will bring out cooler tones. Like, it will cool up your neutral colors and stuff, like his face. It also turns, like, if you have a really barn reddish, which is like a red iron oxide. Ding! So that it's got a lot of oranges in it, and if you add a little bit of black to it, it's going to kind of make it just changes its dynamic, I guess, and it turns it into, I hate to say a cooler red, it's very confusing, but it does change the shading for your shadows. So things like that, if you know, if his cheeks were getting a little bit too warm, then I could do that. Well, after I did that, I looked at his face on the body, and I went, oh no, it is way too cool. I literally had to repaint his face to warm it back up and get rid of all the black. So I brought the browns, and this is just a burnt umber. Wait, burnt umber? Pretty sure it was burnt umber. Yeah, that I used on to get the shadows this time. Typically, with those blue eyes, you're always going to be fighting. You're always going to be dealing with the coolness of that blue, but I love the blue-eyed Santas, and that's just what I wanted. I did kind of, by putting the brown around it, I think I warmed them up a little bit. Those are just some technical stuff when it comes to painting and trying to make something look right.
I do want to thank Heidi Sonboul for putting these challenges together. They're a lot of fun, and I want to tell all the other crafters out there how much I appreciate your organization and how well you do your videos. I have been an artist for all my life, and in my studio I just kind of bounce around from one area to another. I have all my little stations where I work, and I have found it really difficult to make the right kind of videos. So I hope you forgive me for how I'm having to put mine together right now. But I want to just say, you rock and your videos are awesome. I love to watch your videos while I'm in my studio working. And if you ever get a message from me with just a little heart, my comment is just a heart. It's because I've got paint or something on my hands, a paintbrush in one hand, something else in the other. You know how it goes. And I just reach up and just put a notification that I liked it, and that I love something that hopefully I can get back to and leave you a real comment. But I want you to know I am passionate about what you're doing and what I'm doing, and I'm here to support you.
At some point on this Santa, I had to stop. You know what I mean? I put hours into this guy, and I'm like, gotta stop. I could work hours more on him though. That's the worst part. I want to show you something that kind of inspired me to do the Santa. It was a Santa by deegann. Now, if anybody's watching my other videos, they had anything to do with Christmas or Halloween, they know I really love deegann art. She does these fabulous dolls, and I'll enter her website in the description below. She's awesome, and she's been doing this for years, but she's designed her Santas for House of Hatten, Reagan House, and Raz Imports, and I think there's another brand out there sneaking around that looks a lot like hers. They were either inspired by her design and they kind of ripped her off, or she maybe designed it and just didn't take credit for it. I don't know. We'll see. But I actually have I had a couple of those. I'm down to one of those. I really want to sell the other one. So let me tell you what happened with this one. I found this one and I just recognized face. I always look for one-of-a-kind Santas when I'm on eBay and things like that. That's kind of my thing. So a lot of times I'll get them, and those are some of the ones I'm redoing because they have something's wrong with them. But I do love the whole idea of one-of-a-kind. Yeah, over manufactured. So he is adorable. I just think he's the cutest thing. So all she did was the same thing. She did nothing to the face though, but she completely changed his outfit. And I had photos of that. Yeah, I know kind of what Santa this is. I think I have one really close to it, but this one, I love what she did with it. I love that she took this. Now this is a little bit manufactured, like maybe a handkerchief or something. I mean, I'm sorry, a napkin. I don't know what this was originally. It is folded over though. And that maybe, I don't know what this was. And it's really sweet fabric. Now I'm not Victorian. My house was for a while, and I have been able to use him, kind of integrate him in, but in reality he really doesn't go with my house, where I could incorporate this one into more designs. I've been pulling things that I had that were really Victorian to put with him so that he would have something fun to display with. But that's just another example of someone who's taken but made it her own. But the fact that it's a deegann, I was like, what? And she did a good job. I wouldn't change a thing. I love adding things to him, but I wouldn't change anything about him. He's so handsome. I have every other Santa that I have is full of color, and to find this one, and like I said, I didn't pay much for him. Shipping kicked my booty, but because he's so big, but it was still so much less than what they normally cost. But you know, now that they've taken his face off, he is not a real, you know, timeless collectible Santa. So that was one of the things that kind of, I think, you know, take away from, I took my little snowman over here in his, under his little coat. I kind of like that he has these things under his coat. He's just the cutest. So I think I would like that kind of in here. And I'm really, just the whole fact that I could not get that color right was driving me insane. So that was one of my days. So if I put him in different places, like outside, then the lighting does that lighting thing, because whatever light hits it. But you know, when you display him, you can kind of furl his coat open some. But this one did end up matching pretty well, especially if you put him on the other side. But I kind of got carried away with the glitter. So he is amazing. I mean, I'm really glad I found him. I do love his face, even though I made it myself. I painted it for hours. I'm not kidding. If you know anyone who, now one of the things, I did look through a lot of options. Like, I love these little snowflakes, but the gold is just, I thought, there's two of them. So I thought I could put one on one and one on the other. I'm always looking for these little embellishments, but they're just too, I am going to go look for a big gold tree to go with him. He really needs that. And I, somewhere in my imagination, thought I could get a pot to put it in, so he's kind of holding it. I think he needs that. That face is horrifying. Wait, look at that. So that, I know that something's not right. But he's lost his coin. Yeah, typically they have the coin, you know, so he doesn't have his coin anymore. So someone pried that out in order to do their own thing. So first of all, I embraced that they did their own thing. I think that's adorable. But it wasn't the best for this particular Santa. At least not for my house. I'm going to go sew these in. I will kind of tuck this under, because see, all the raw edges and everything. I don't think it's going to show though. If it does, I will take it up. I did put stuffing in the thumb because I slip it so far up his hand. And even though he has a thumb, it's like right here. And I really want that hand to, I wanted to get that whole thing in there. So I would put just a little bit of fluff on the top of his hand. So just to get rid of some of that boniness that his plastic hand is doing. And I'm going to just stitch that in. I just really wanted to show y'all now how the difference between having a hand and having a mitten, how that looks. And you can crochet or knit, but I really love that. I dug through all my fabric. I definitely didn't want to add a color, and I had some other fabrics that had gold in them and a white, you know, neutral color, and that just, this is the only one to me that kind of blended in with the fur. And it was a softer, more tarnished gold, I guess. And so I think it worked really well with the gifts that he's carrying. So that was just all part of his general assembly. I noticed he has a spot on his head. And I thought there was something there. I bet there was something glued there. And kind of looking at it, it looks like that fur's been trimmed. And so I had this gold. And I do like the gold. I think it's sweet. But oh my goodness, when I popped this one on, yeah, that was the one. That is beautiful, but I can't give him up with this. I really love this pen. I mean, you know, I can find another one, but wow, that just really kind of, the reason I really love this pen, it brings you back up to his face, because he's got a lot going on. That definitely draws your attention back up to his face and his eyes. Carol Bouquet Santas had a lot of different faces and styles and sizes, and this is one of her super nice ones. Now I think he was too. I think originally this one was very, very nice, but this one has the real fur, and there's something about the real fur. Now if you're a vegan and you don't want anything, or if you don't want to deal with real fur, because when you have a Santa with real fur, you're going to have to deal with where you store it. You can't, you really shouldn't put them in the attic. So, and I do the beards because I know how to replace the beards. So at this point, I can put everybody. But on my cheaper Santas and who have this kind of beard, I don't really worry about them. Now, one thing about this guy, once again, not my favorite tree. He came with different trees. My mother has this one. I know we're getting off topic here, but my mother has this Santa as well, and I gifted it to her one year, and so I'm gonna keep hers, and decided I would just sell mine because I like her tree better. So anyway, these are beautiful. They're fantastic how they're made. Their faces are, and they come with a card, and their faces are stunning. I mean, this is the sweetest little face. Very simple designs, and that's how I originally painted mine. I really gave it a simple face, and then as I started messing with it, I thought, you know, I want, her face is a little bit more turned than mine too. I should have sculpted. If I could do it over again, I would have sculpted this on a curve to give it that curved look. I kind of did a flat face. I'm sorry. since I've kind of made it my own that way anyway, and that's typical, like the noses I draw on my Santas, usually the cute little Santas I draw, I just took over. So it kind of went from, of course his face would be bigger anyway because he's taller and all that, but very simple lines like this one to something a little bit more complicated. But I will show you some other examples of her work. Please check out the link to my eBay store in the description below. So this Santa is one that I picked up kind of out of, I'm pretty sure this is Carol's face, the one that she does. And he's very simple. So what I wanted to do with him is to get in here with some of my ornaments I don't really use and add to him. Since he's kind of got this snowflake theme, I would definitely want to bring in some more stuff like this and add that to him. And this bell, because see, look at the qualities. I mean, it's really different. I think I would like lose the bell somehow, like stick it up his arm. But all right, I'm gonna hide the bell in the back. I would rather him be holding something that's really beautiful like this versus that bell. Does that make more sense? I mean, it really does. So once you get one of these Santas, just do your thing. Hang on, I got a box full of stuff behind me to play with. I have so much stuff. One of the things, let me see you. Hey, wait a minute. Let me add that to you. Let me hang on to that. Yeah, so I love the silvers. I need to kind of go through my other silvers. I had like like the snowflake pin I put on him. I have another one, but look how cool that would look on him as well. To bring in your brooches to add to your Santas. So that's, we always hear me getting stuff and go, I could add that to my Santas. This is the kind of thing. I do want to would like to do a really neutral, once again, neutral Santa. I would love to do something more with this. So he's got sweet little hands, little mittens on. They're velvet. He's so cute, but his staff is all bent. You know, you gotta zhush them up every year. You just gotta zhush them. So here's another example. Now this face, I believe, is by, it's really kind of hard to tell. It almost looks like a JENA Hall face. Some of JENA Hall's faces are very rugged looking, and I'll insert photos so you can see them. But here's another example of a really neutral Santa that you just can add so much to. And let me tell you, I pulled the most gorgeous ornaments that I have. No idea. I'm looking in my box. Where did I put them? These are plastic, and you know, I've got like glass beads. I would change out a lot of this stuff. I do love these though. I think those are fun. And it's so vintagey. And you can bring in some more of things like this into him, but I think because he's so mystical, in fact his name is, what is his name? Magical. So I wanted to kind of keep with that theme. I found this one. And the reason I had not done this one before was because, the reason it was not where I thought it was, I need to change out the ribbon. I need to find a silver ribbon for him because I don't like that clear one. But how cool is this piece to go with him? But it looks good with the other one as well. It's really hard. You're kind of in a weird place with your hand. Maybe we do need to put it on the other one. I hate to put it on that. It kind of takes away. Get that arm up, buddy. Come on. One thing you can do is, even though they have wires, if you have a problem like this with the Santa that you're working on, it's propping up, so I'm not really worried. You can just go ahead and insert another wire. Not really, just like to back it up and maybe zip tie it or something to it. See, I'm always thinking outside the box. Some Santas you cannot get up in their sleeves like this one, but if you can get up into their bodies, I think you can go up through his body to get to a sleeve. Yeah, I could put a better wire right here. So that would definitely help hold that arm up, but he's doing okay. I love one thing about deeganns, that she changes their expressions, like how they tilt their heads. And most of these have a wire. I don't think hers do. Hers are plush, so they don't. So you really can't change their faces too much. So I wanted to show on this Santa the method that they used for the mustache. They actually did the center piece right here, where they took two pieces and overlapped them. But you get all these little short hairs over here that you kind of have to zhush around. Let's zhush that a little bit here and there. So on the one that I did my, let me get this in focus. I did the reverse method where you glue it backwards and then you lay it. So I glued it, like my weft was pointing this way, and then I folded it back on itself and created that look. Another thing I like to do is to find stands for my Santas, and I don't know which one's going to fit. I should have tested it first, but I like to use things like these, and I think he's going to fit.
just to kind of give it that extra little oomph. And this is something I picked up at Hobby Lobby. And then you can put your other decorations down in here if you wanted to, so that you can kind of keep things more surrounded. Oh no, you're not working. How about that? So I have fun with that. I love doing that. I have another stand too that I got. I kind of like this other one better. I'm gonna check it out. So I found this thrifting. I think it was a candle holder, and it was $2.75. And someone on my live stream where I was opening these things told me how much it really cost, and it was kind of expensive. So I think that's perfect for him. Anyway, I just want to show you some ideas for that. Sorry I couldn't give you the real good DIY video that I wanted to give you. I'm hoping this will inspire you to do something wonderful. And if you do, please let me know. Send me your link to your video in your Instagram. I would love to see it. One of the other things that I do so badly is I hoard everything, even a little scrap of ribbon like this. And if you're a really good crafter, so do you. You know what I'm doing here. So I'm thinking about putting this on my bear. Maybe too much. Let me see the colors. He really needs a pinker. That's just really dark. But there will come a day when I can use this, right? Because that's how we save things. So I just wanted you to get a good look at him and how I used him in my decor. And I hope that you will do something similar with any Santa that you find. So thanks for watching, and please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification button, because I do go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I go as guests on other people's shows as well. If you are interested in being one of my live shows, doing arts and crafts, or any kind of DIY project, please send me a message through Instagram. Bye!